Hello again, so welcome back. So let's keep on advancing with our little OpenGL project. So we're gonna go spec this up, right? After we have our basic framework, we can start to build something a bit more complicated. Right, we're reading the shaders, we're rendering a triangle. So let's go ahead and change that into something a bit more complicated. This is a vertex with 3 points, right? I want to change this to something way bigger. Let me select these things and paste that in. Okay, this is a whole lot of like floats, right? Right, just make it look a bit bigger. Okay, so this one actually contains, if you count, right, 6 lines and then times that by 6, that's 36, right? Lines in here, and every line is actually or every section here is actually a face that consists of 2 triangles. 1 2 3 1 2 3, right? So that's 2 triangles, and then you have 6 of them, right? 6 faces. By face, what I mean is a square, right? So that's actually a square in there, and we have 6 of them. Add them together, you're actually getting a cube. Okay, getting a cube from this data table. Okay, all right. Now this may feel like a lot of things. So this data is somewhere I stripped out from the Learn OpenGL website. It's actually a very comprehensive website. It's talking about a lot of things about OpenGL. So highly recommend you to read through that, but that's going to take a long time to read through, but very informative and very good explanation. And this is some of the data I stripped from that website, okay, which will give me a cube basically. Okay. However, because this is having way more data, we have to redefine or change the vertex attribute pointer here. Okay, right. So the first thing here is that we're doing 3, right? For the attribute, that's going to be the first 3 elements. Okay, I can actually comment that. This is going to be the position of the points. Okay, well, after that, the 4th and the 5th are actually the UV coordinate, okay, of the vertex. Okay, just to put that into an example here, you can see this is in Blender, and we have a cube. Right, now not only that you have those vertices, and you also have a 2D map that's having every vertex mapped to every point mapped to 2 vertices in a 2D space. Right, the reason that it's 2 vertices, if I just actually sometimes 3, right, it's based on how many edges are sharing that vertex. Okay, because this is like a 2D representation of the cube, so that you can map an image on the cube, okay, or texture basically. And you need a coordinate for that, like a 2D coordinate, right? Like, 2 values to represent where it is, right, in this 2D coordinate system we call UV space. Okay, so that's what that is. Okay, and because of that, we have to change a few things. We're still reading the first 3 as our first attribute, and that's going to be our location, so our shader doesn't have to change in here for that matter. However, there are 2 more, right, which means that we'll have to define another vertex attribute pointer that's of the index 1, and it has 2 elements. That's GL float. Okay, and then GL false, also they are not normalized. Okay, now this is something that we have changed for both. Okay, this size of will be how long basically each line is in this case, or how long, right, one attribute set a vertex will have. Okay, that include 2 things now, right, the position and the UV. So that's actually 5 of the size of float. So that's going to be changed to 5 for both of them. Okay, okay, that again means how big it is for a full set of attribute, not just one. Okay, and that's the same for every one of those vertex attribute pointer. Okay, now after this, we also have to define from where do we have to read this one. Now that's no longer 0 anymore. 0 is here, right? We need to go 3 more before we reach to where we start to reading the second attribute. So that's actually the size of float times 3. Right, this still have to be converted into a void pointer, right? But we can do size of float and then times 3 before we pass that over. So let me actually wrap this around with another pair of parentheses just to be really clear on my intention. Okay, so now we have another set of attributes that we call UV. Okay, we can actually use that. So layout. Okay, and then location equals to 1 now, and in vect2, that's two-dimensional vector, right? Call this guy a texture coordinate. Okay, that's the texture coordinate. All right. Now, of course, we don't really need to use it in here on the vertex level, so we actually have to just output it. So I'm gonna output a vector2 called text coordinate. Okay, that of course will be equal to a text coordinate that we passed in. Okay, all right. A texture coordinate. Okay, that will allow us to read this cube properly. Okay, we're reading the two attributes. We're defining that. Oh, actually, one more thing. We have to enable it. Whenever you have an attribute, we enable it. Okay, right. And then, of course, when we reach to the very bottom, where draw triangles, that's gonna be more than 3, right? How many do we have? 36, right? 36 in total. 3 for each face, 6 for each face, and 6 faces, right? 6 squares. So I'm gonna go ahead and run it. All right, you can see we're basically drawing out basically a square now, because we're looking at this cube right on. And also there's some proportional issues where we have to go through some matrices to fix it. But nonetheless, we got the cube read properly. Okay, right? Just a quick video, right? We can quickly update our cube. And I think in the next video, we can move on to getting another library so that we can maybe tilt the cube so we can see it like tilted. We can also think about getting, I think it will be easier to see it if we have some textures. So I guess we can also move on to textures in the next video just to have something on the cube, because we have UVs, right? We can add textures and then we tilt the cube. Okay. Alrighty. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Okay. See you guys next time.